Well, guys, I hate to say it, but I think Jerome Powell is probably going to screw us over this week. But why exactly is he going to do that? What the heck is going on? And what about all the talking heads on Wall Street and all the other noise out there? There just has to be a reason for this, so let's talk about it today and get to the bottom of all this. Right after you gently tap that like button and consider subscribing too. It's super easy to do if you like the truth without the hype. Alright, so instead of doing another long form video on this, I actually released a video to my group a few weeks ago discussing this exact scenario, exactly what I think is going to happen this time around. Which the sale for my group is actually about to expire, where you get 5 courses for free, you get access to all my buy and sell alerts, my watch list with price targets. We got a stock analyzer tool that's coming, it's going to be free for members. Just check out the pinned comment down there and see if it's right for you. But this video perfectly wraps up my thoughts on all this, completely unfiltered. So, you got to kind of go with the rawness of the type video, but it lays out the case for this perfectly, why they're doing it, what it means long-term, and a lot of other information like that. So let's jump into the video now. What is going on out there, guys? And hopefully everybody's having a great week. So I kind of wanted to touch on something here. It's not getting a lot of noise right now, but I think it could be. And that is the Fed actually looking to raise the rates once, maybe even twice. And of course, the narrative is going to be, what are they doing? Are they out of control? They're over tightening, all these other things like that. And I just kind of wanted to address that directly as to why they would do that, why they would think about that. And more importantly, what is the reality if they choose to do another couple of hikes and we're, another 0.25 and another 0.25 or just a 0.5 in that particular scenario there? Why would they do that? And what's kind of the logic behind that? And you got to remember, more importantly, the Fed has 2 mandates, right? Price stability and unemployment, basically unemployment staying low, right? Well, right now we're at record low unemployment, still record low. They're trying to get that up. It's still below where we really want it to be at. It's kind of, it was getting unhealthy there for a little bit. We're finally kind of starting to edge up there to what is more of a normal health environment. And of course, price stability, which we are seeing that, prices come down rapidly. And obviously we'll find out here in about a week or so in regards to where we're actually at. Are we continuing to trend down? Which of course I think we are, but there's no doubt about it that that's absolutely trending in the right direction as well. So why would the Fed even consider raising again? Doesn't it just hurt things? And I think you got to understand exactly the narrative that the YouTubers are putting out there, that you hear from the media. I even love it whenever real estate guys who own tons of commercial real estate get on there and talk about the Fed going down, because clearly they want the Fed to lower rates so they can refinance at lower rates and it makes them more money. So I just if I see they're in private equity, real estate at all, I just completely ignore anything they say, because they're clearly just trying to get what they want out of the deal. They're not even talking about anything that's remotely not completely biased towards that. But anytime you see those narratives, what those narratives are exactly the same narratives that you heard in the 70s whenever we had the wild inflation that we just couldn't get under control. It would just go up, spike way up, come way down. The Fed would raise rates, it'd come way down. And then the moment it started trending in the right direction, for 2 or 3, consecutive months, 4 months, sometimes as far as 6 months, they would start slashing the rates and immediately it would come right back up. That went on for a decade because of these exact reasons that everybody else is out there discussing. Oh, if you over tighten, you're going to hurt this. Oh, if you, now that inflation's coming down, you need to let off the gas so that way we can get the economy working again. So that way you don't break things. Unemployment wasn't great back then either, like it is right now. So all these narratives played out in the 70s, and the Fed repeatedly has said, we don't want to repeat that. Even if it makes them unpopular, which Volcker was unpopular at the time, very unpopular. However, when inflation didn't come back, he was hailed as a hero, right? But you forget about, you got to almost be the zero before you can become the hero. So he was a zero because he was doing things that agitated everybody. Wall Street, big firms, small firms. Obviously unemployment was crazy during that time, so they thought he was making it worse. All those sort of narratives were all around the same exact thing, far worse than it is right now. And he continued to raise and continued to tighten and continued to just make it to where we truly could stamp out inflation. So that's kind of what the Fed is trying to avoid with all this. But more importantly, nothing's really broken yet. I mean, I agree, commercial real estate is going to be in a mess, but it's been in a mess for more than a decade now. Just low interest rates have hidden the mess that's out there with commercial real estate and bad assets like malls and office buildings and all these other things that have been dying for years, but finally accelerated, kind of post-COVID. And, oh, hey, yeah, guess what? You're not going to be able to refinance out at 2 and 3% anymore on that debt. You're going to have to refinance it out 5 or 6%. And now your money losing venture is going to lose even more money. And there's other games involved with commercial real estate and such in regards to refinancing to cash out investors and things of that nature. Another reason why you want those lower rates, because the cash out can be higher. So there's a whole nother game being played there with that. Now, in regards to addressing folks thinking that the Fed's going to break something, I mean, unemployment still needs to creep up. We need it to come up more in order to just get back to normal, much less to any sort of a broken level. But even more importantly than all of that, the most important thing that the Fed wants in their toolbox is actual bullets in the toolbox to actually go after whatever the next crisis is, as to whether it's inflation, whether it's some other, I don't know, the whole world shutting down again. Whatever that crisis is, you have to have bullets in the chamber. And the only way the Fed has bullets in the chamber is if they raise rates. That's it. They have no other options for putting bullets back in their chamber in order to be able to actually handle some sort of a catastrophic event that happens in the first place. So that's the reason why they were in, I won't call it a rush. They should have been in a rush earlier, obviously, to raise rates. But in order to, as things started to deteriorate a little bit, they wanted more and more bullets in the chamber, not only to knock inflation down, but just so that way they had options later on. So for them, maybe they're looking at this as, of course, everybody's freaking out about 5%, 6% interest rates on mortgages and such. 7%, whatever the heck the number is right now. Those of you guys that were alive in the 80s and trying to get mortgages in the 80s, you remember, 12, 13, 15% mortgages. And I even remember when I bought my first house, it was, I don't remember what it was, 6%, 6.25, something like that. And it was considered a great rate. So in a lot of ways, we're just kind of back to normal. Sure, don't get me wrong. I refinanced every single debt that I owned to take advantage of those stupid low rates that we got the past year, year and a half, 2 years. But that is not normal. A normal mortgage rate, I don't know what the average is. I have no idea. But my guess is somewhere, in the 4s or 5s would be very, very reasonable long-term for those rates. So yes, that means they need to lower. However, in the meantime, it doesn't mean that the Fed going from 5% to 5.25 to 5.5 is necessarily breaking anything either or disastrous or anything else like that at all. I think it would be definitely more of a recaging of what expectations should be in regards to mortgage rates than anything else. And more importantly, I think the Fed wants more bullets in the chamber so that way they can fight off whatever the heck is coming next. That, at least to me, is the only case I can make for the Fed continuing to raise rates just to make sure that they keep inflation down and give them a couple of extra bullets in the chamber so that way they can kind of, I won't say manipulate markets because I don't want to go that far, but to absolutely influence markets while they're still maintaining their, hey, we have rates high enough to keep inflation down and we're not going to dip back down to that other scenario there. So essentially all the folks calling for a couple, cuts by the end of the year or something like that. Hey, if they took it up another couple of points, I could see that actually providing a runway for them per se to cut another quarter point at the end of the year there. So that way we're still, positive 0.25 from where we are right now. But now it looks like the Fed is easing off the gas a little bit. And it's kind of another way to control the narrative there at the back end. Again, this is all assuming nothing's broken and nothing has broken yet outside of what we've already discussed. So that's kind of the reason why I think it's absolutely plausible that we see the Fed raise once or twice more. And if they do, everybody's going to scream, what are they thinking? What are they doing? Now, I'm not saying they are going to do that, but it's absolutely an option I could see them leaving on the table to potentially do so that way they have extra chambers in the bullet. Might help if I get the analogy right. Anyways, to have extra bullets in the chamber to fight whatever the next crisis is. And of course, there's still some data that they're seeing that they're not liking as well. So that right there could be the other reason why they raise. So anyways, hopefully that provides at least some clarity as to where I see that going, why I see that being a viable option for them to do, and why I'm not concerned with it even if they do it. And remember, the sale for my group ends soon, so make sure you check out the pinned comment down there if you want 5 courses for free, if you want access to my watch list with bride targets, if you want to see all my buy and sell alerts in real time, if you want access to the best 6- and 7-figure Discord out there, and of course have your spot reserved for that stock analyzer tool whenever it's released, so that way you get free access to it with your membership. So check out the pinned comment down there and see if a membership's right for you. And click this video here to see the exact stocks I'm buying in this market, and click here to see my exact plan for this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.